Guys, welcome to Dinos and welcome to my first ride review of the Honda Hornet 160R, the 2018 model and the single channel ABS variant. Now most of you guys have been requesting me to do a quick snappy update review of the single channel ABS variant. Now all of you already know that I've done a detailed first ride review of the 2018 model, the CBS variant. I've also shared the differences between CBS and ABS and which one is more effective in that particular video, so I would suggest you watch that video by following the link in the description portion below. But for now, this is a quick overview and my first ride impression of the single channel ABS variant as to whether it has somewhat of a better ride feel on offer and how effective the single channel ABS is in offering a much better and much controlled braking mechanism. So without further ado, let's get started with this video. So since this is the single channel ABS variant, let's start out by talking about the braking performance. Up front we get a 276mm pedal disc and at the back we get a 220mm pedal disc. We get single channel ABS as an option, which means ABS is operational only on the front wheel. To know more about how ABS actually works and the kind of added safety it has on offer, I would suggest you watch my Dinopedia video about ABS by following the link in the description portion below. Now please note that it was literally raining cats and dogs all over the place while I was reviewing this bike, so the conditions were pretty much ideal to test the efficacy of the ABS unit on board. Now doing around 51 km per hour, I slammed on the brakes really hard by putting almost full pressure on the front brake because that's where ABS is operational, and you can see that the bike comes to a standstill in just 1.9 seconds, which is really impressive considering the fact that the roads were completely wet due to the heavy downpour during the course of my review. Also, the ABS intervention was very smooth without being jittery or jerky despite me applying almost full pressure on the front brake. Now please note that in ABS models, the stopping distance is just marginally greater because the brake force is released in intervals to the respective wheel such that the wheel doesn't lock up. So we need to understand here that with single channel ABS, we still run the risk of the rear wheel locking up in harsh braking scenarios. But if you train your subconscious mind to apply more pressure on the front brake each time you brake, then I'm sure that you can tap into the full potential of having a single channel ABS feature on board. Now please note that you also need to apply the rear brake simultaneously but apply slightly lesser pressure on the rear brake compared to the front brake. Now as per experts, we need to apply 70% pressure on the front brake and 30% pressure on the rear brake, and this is considered to be the ideal braking technique for both ABS as well as non-ABS bikes. Now talking about the powertrain, we get the same 162.71cc engine that puts out 14.9 bhp of max power at 8,500 rpm and 14.5 Newton meters of max torque at 6,500 rpm. Now this comes mated to a 5-speed gearbox. Please note that this is the new dazzle yellow metallic color that has been introduced this year that sure does look striking and attractive. Now I also personally like the blue color and the red color variants that are also available on offer. Now talking about the ride feel, honestly I absolutely loved the first generation Hornet, which was power personified. It offered nearly 15.5 bhp of max power and was among the most powerful bikes in its segment compared to the likes of the Gixxer or the FZ. Now last year the power for the Hornet was toned down for reasons unknown, maybe to offer better fuel economy, and we could feel the bike lacking the thrill and the excitement that the first gen model had on offer. But now for the year 2018, though the power figures remain unchanged, the bike feels a lot peppier with a punchy power delivery. Despite its macho muscular looks, the bike feels light and easy to flick around in city traffic. Now further enhancing the riding pleasure is the ultra light clutch feel and the super smooth gearbox. The throttle response is light and crisp, and overall the bike is enjoyable and offers a much better ride feel compared to last year's model. The bike offers good pickup right off the mark, has a nice and strong mid-range, and the braking duties of course are much better now courtesy of the ABS on board. Also the suspension seems to be better tuned now compared to the prior models. The first gen model and the last year's model had slightly stiffer suspension, but now the shocks feel ideally tuned to offer good comfort at lower speeds while also offering good stability by supporting the bike well at higher speeds. The wider 140 section rear tire offers superb road grip while tackling corners as well as making sharp U-turns. And yes, we need to note here that we now also get a hazard light switch which turns on all 4 indicators at a time to offer better visibility to oncoming traffic during rainy and foggy conditions. notifications. Now this is a good safety feature to have on board, especially if you prefer to go touring on this bike. The Speedo console is the same. We get a blue backlit all digital instrument cluster with the readouts including a speedometer, tachometer, odometer, trip meters, clock and a fuel gauge. The display I would say is somewhat okay, but I would prefer the X-Blades Speedo console to be offered here if possible, because that is more legible with the fonts being more clearly visible. Now talking about the areas of improvement, the seat cushioning could be slightly better. The seat felt to be slightly on the harder side, although it offers good room for the rider as well as the pillion. Also, I really hope Honda considers offering an engine kill switch with their future upgrades. Well, I guess that's pretty much it for now. This wraps up my review of the Honda Hornet 160R ABS variant. Please do also watch my Hornet 160R CBS model review, where I review the bike in more detail and also share the differences between ABS and CBS. So that's pretty much it for now. Until next time, this is Dino saying ciao. Take care, God bless and ride safe.